This thing is a problem, bro. Like, yeah. Here's the next question. It's still not zooming in. It's like the whiteboard is still not zooming in. You see, you guys, I'm trying to like use it, but it's not zooming in. So what I'm gonna do instead, I'm gonna continue using the Word document and a PDF. I'm gonna open this question on a PDF, and then after that, I'm gonna do the explanation on a Word document because it's just not working. So yeah, I'm gonna use a Word document instead. I don't know what the solution is for this. I don't know if I should use a different venue, like go hold this session in a restaurant, or just have it in a restaurant where the quiet restaurant where there's no noise. Maybe the network will work nicely. I don't know. You guys will give me suggestions because it's just giving me problems. It's giving me problems. Um, it's giving me problems. Okay, I'm gonna use like a PDF and a Word document. Okay, here's my screen. You guys can see my screen. So the next question says the range of f. Now back to my sister's question, range. So I'm gonna touch on range and domain now quickly. Touch on range and domain so that you guys are in a position to answer this question. Sharp, as I promised. So I want to start with domain because it's the X one or the easy one. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Like yes. So yeah. So there's multiple ways in which you could find the XFC matrix. So the one way would be to use this formula, ne? And then go x equal to minus b over 2a. We got an answer of minus 1 over 2, ne? So that is like the x coordinate of the turning point of the parabola. So which is this, like this thing here, ne? That means the value here is minus 1 over 2. So if you draw a line like that, the line is defined by its x value because it's vertical. So your answer will be x equal to minus 1 over 2. Again, are you happy with what I just showed? I'm gonna show you a different method. Ponzo? Okay. My sister's happy. So now I'm gonna show you a different method, yeah? So a different method would be, since since we have that the x coordinate of b is minus 3, while the x coordinate of c is 2. You guys, I told you already, if you had these intercepts, right, the x intercepts, and you wanted the x coordinate of the turning point, you won't even have to do this. Use this formula. You can use the midpoint, like, because this is halfway between these two intercepts. So you basically take in the midpoint, and the formula for midpoint for the x coordinate is x1 plus x2 over 2 again. Then you're going to go, your x1 is minus 3 plus your x2 is 2 over 2. This will give us minus 1 over 2. That's another way of finding the x of symmetry, or if you like, finding the x coordinate of the turning point. Thumbs up if you're happy. Just before I move on. Okay, Mpo's happy, and a couple more people are happy. Everybody's happy. I'm glad that I could answer your question. So yeah, those are the two methods that you could use. So please don't cram one, ne? Just know both, because some questions will be designed or asked in such a way that you can't use the other method, but you can only use one. So you must be comfortable with both. Okay. Sharp, sharp. Thank you so much for the patience. So I wanted to now then move to domain and range. So you guys will see this a lot in almost every functions questions, even the trigonometric questions. They require you to know the domain and range. I'm going to show you what this thing is easy. So I'm going to start with domain. You guys can now see a Word document in front of you. Okay, so I'm just sharing with you my all of the things, my windows. Sharp. So now domain. What is domain? I'm going to use an example to explain this. Okay. I'm just going to draw the x-axis only, ne? X-axis only. 0, 1, 2, 3, minus 1, minus 2, and so on, right? Fade. Now, consider this point here. Can you guys tell me the x coordinate of this point? Let's call it point A. What is the x coordinate of this point? Yes? 2, yes, 2. Don't doubt it's 2, ne? The y we don't have, again, because I haven't put the y axis. Let's look at another point. Let's just say this, which point? This point. Let's call it point B. What is the x coordinate of this point? Point B? Minus 1. Proper stuff. I'm going to have another point called point C. I'm going to have it there. Point C. What is the x coordinate of point C? 2. Proper stuff. Now, what is domain? Domain is just, I'll write a definition so that it sticks. Domain is just all the x values of a point or a graph. Or a line, yeah. So how do I connect this definition with this? All the x values of a point on a or a graph. So if they ask you what is the domain of point A, you say the domain is 2. Why? Because this point A only consists of just one point, and in that one point is is coordinate of 2. If they ask you what is the domain of point C, your answer will be 2, because what is the domain? All the x values or value of a point or graph. So this point is only one x value or point that has a x value of 2. What is the domain of B? Domain of B is minus 1. That's it. You're going to write x equal to minus 1. But now, if they draw you a line like so, a line like this, goes from there. Let's make it easy. Let's put it this side. This line goes from here to there. Let's call it line. Let's call it line in, I don't know, line, line tabo. Let's call it tabo. The line is called tabo. They ask you what is the domain of this line. Look at it. Definition says all the x values of a point or graph. This is a graph, right? A line is a graph. So now we're gonna include all of these x coordinates, like from 1. Ne? Let's zoom in so that you can see nicely. You're gonna include all of the like x coordinate on this line. There's 1.11 somewhere there. There's 1.112, whatever. All of these values, 1.5, 1. Whatever, 1.92, 2.1, and so on. So there's like infinitely many values between 1 and 3. So you can't write all of them. You can't write 1, 2, and 3. No, because there's still 2.5, 2.51, 2.52, 2.522. There's a lot of them. So for you to include all of those x values, agar they said like a domain is all of the x values on a point or like a graph. So for you to include all of these points, just gonna say 1 to 3, including. So it means all values between 1 and 3, including the 1 and the 3, right? Some of you could represent it like this. X is an element of, you still write this, still fine. Okay, some of you could write it like this. 1 is less than or equal to x, x is less than or equal to 3. Are we all good? Look at this line now. I want to write it, draw it in red. Look at this line here. Goes like this, ne? And they ask you what is the domain, ne? Now look at this. It said that domain is like all of the x values of a like a line or a point. Look at this. Ne, okay, it goes like this, goes like that. 3. Look at this thing. It starts at 1. The x coordinate there is 1. The next one is obviously going to be 1.1, whatever, 1.12, whatever. There's a lot of values there. X values, X values, X values. They go from 1 until 3. Understand? So the domain of this red line is still 1 from 1 to 3 inclusive, or this, whatever. So it's got nothing to do how the graph looks like, or it's curvious, or whatever it is, or it's slanted, or it's flat. We're not just focus on the x coordinates. Why? Because a domain is just all the x values of a point or graph. Nice, I get. Okay. Then what is the domain of this line now? Where should I throw it? I'll throw it here. the domain of this line, it is still the same because the x value there is 1, 1.1, whatever it is there, 2, 2.1, 2.5, whatever, until 3. It is still the same, what's this thing? Domain. Now, if they do this, if you've got a, let me do this. I'm going to draw another line here. It's like this. This line is like this, then like it goes very close to 3, but it doesn't touch 3. So it excludes the 3 and the 1 basically. So if they ask you the domain will be 1 to 3 in exclusive. Do you guys see? Thumbs up, thumbs down, comments. Okay, sharp. You guys are happy. Now, can you guys tell me what is the domain of this graph? This line. Starts at 1. It goes on forever like that. What is the domain? Starts at 1, goes on forever. What is the domain of that line? Just say out the answers. A different one. If it comes like this, sorry, starts at 0 and goes on to infinity. Just a straight line that goes on to infinity. Your answer will be, it includes 0, right? So you're going to go, it goes from 0 to infinity. Now, a law in maths, whenever like you like put infinity as a range or domain, you always put open brackets. Yeah, don't ever include anything. Whether negative infinity or positive infinity, always do this. So your answer will look like that, could look like this. Okay. Oh, yes. So I'm saying, we're trying to find the domain of this like line. This line goes on forever like that. Ne? Remember, the domain is just all the x values of a point or line. So the x value of this point is clearly 0. The x value here is 0.1 or something. Here is 0.1, whatever those values are, like that, until it goes on and on and on to infinity. So now, obviously, how we represent it, we're going to go including 0 because it starts there, and then you're going to put infinity there. So whenever you're putting infinity there, when you're doing like any restriction or domain or range, whatever it is, you must always put up like a curly bracket. Whether negative or positive infinity, always curly bracket. It will never be this bracket. Does that answer your question, Zetiamo? Proper stuff. So now, yeah, that's how you represent it. Another way to represent this would be if you're putting the x is x an element of that, or this infinity. Never ever put include when you're dealing with infinity. Never put include. It's always it always exclude when it comes to infinity. If this line hadn't included if this line had included the 0, it maybe started like just after 0, so it would be like this, excluding the 0, or you could put that thing, it would be like this now. It excludes. See, it excludes the 0. Are we good? Sharp. Another one, we have a line that goes like this from 1, goes on like that to infinity like that. And they ask you to find the domain, right? So you're going to write it like this. It starts from negative infinity. It ends at 1. Does it include 1? Yes. Okay. Another way to represent that is if you put those things, or if you like, you can go 1. All good? Thumbs up if you're happy. Okay. The whole congregation is happy. I'm glad that you're happy. And then let's go for another example. Very interesting. This one. We're learning functions. You guys want to club of functions. This is how you're gonna club. You need to like exhaust everything. If I give you something like this and say find the domain, it's literally every x value on the number line. So you could write, to say x value means all of the x values, you could say x is an element of real numbers. Or if you like, you can just say from negative infinity to positive infinity. Still fine, like that. You know? You can say, to say that all values on the number line, you can write this, or you can write that. from negative infinity to positive infinity. Are we good with that? And then compare this line. Compare this line with this. Compare this line with this. Yeah, this function. It's a quadratic function that goes like this. Goes like this. Ne? They ask you to find the domain. Remember, what is a domain? Domain is just all the x values of a point or a graph. So now let's look at these x coordinates. Ne? This x coordinate is 0, this one is 0.1, goes on and on and on and on. X value, x value. You see, as the graph continues like this, it includes all of these positive x values or also these negative x values. So your answer will be similar to this one because it goes from negative infinity, this side, to positive infinity. So it'll still be this. Or you can say it's all x values. That's you saying that all x values. X is an element of all real numbers. Still the same thing. Do you guys see that? Proper stuff. So I'm going to save this clip. I'm going to save it and I'm going to save it as domain. Let me save it as you guys watch me save it. There. Save it. Quadratic functions part 2. Then I write domain in brackets. Domain. Okay. Now we're gonna do the range. So it's the same thing, but it's just with the y. Okay. I'm gonna share with you a different Word document, a clean one, and then touch on the range. It is the same concept, but it's just dealing with the y values. Same thing. Let me share with you the exact Word document alone. Here is the Word document. Sharp. So yeah, let's record.